This lecture, we're going to look at the format of how firms and organizations respond to external pressures. And we're going to call what we're looking at contingency theories. Contingency theories propose that the effectiveness of management, leadership, or organizational structures is not universal, but depends on specific situational factors. These theories emphasize that optimal outcomes arise when approaches are tailored to internal variables, e.g. team competence, task structure, and external conditions such as environmental stability and organizational size. For example, leadership styles or organizational structures should adapt to contextual demands, rejecting a one-size-fits-all solution in favor of flexibility and context-driven decision-making. Rather than look at internal monitoring issue and dilemmas, this is a series of theories that looks at external governance needs. According to Donaldson, the essence of the contingency theory paradigm is that organizational effectiveness results from fitting characteristics of the organization, such as its structure, to contingencies that reflect the situation of the organization. Three such theories are resource dependency theory. This posits that organizations depend on external resources, i.e. materials, funding, information, and must strategize to manage these dependencies to survive. Organizations mitigate uncertainty by forming alliances, mergers, lobbying, or diversifying to reduce reliance on external actors. Resource-based theory begins by supposing that firms are bundles of resourcing capabilities. These words require some unpacking. The word firm can mean a wide variety of things, everything from an accounting entity identifiable for tax purposes, to a legal identity for allocating legal liability, to an economic entity for economicizing on transaction costs, to a social entity that helps give its members purpose and a sense of belonging. Institutional theory examines how organizations and individuals are shaped by their institutional environments, social norms, regulations, cultural expectations, and taken for granted practices. It emphasizes that organizations adopt structures and practices not solely for efficiency, but to gain legitimacy and conform to external pressures, ensuring survival in socially constructed environments. Key concepts include isomorphism, mimicking others, institutional logics, shared belief systems, and legitimization of processes. Network theory studies systems as interconnected nodes of actors, organizations, or entities, and the ties, relationships, or interactions between them. It emphasizes how the structure of these connections influences behaviors, outcomes, and systemic properties such as information flow, resilience, power dynamics, and innovation. Key concepts include centrality, which nodes hold the most influence, structural holes, gaps between clusters that create opportunities for brokers, strong versus weak ties. Strong ties foster trust, while weak ties enable access to novel information. Small world networks, systems where nodes are closely connected through short paths. Variety of applications. Social networks are how ideas spread. Organizations collaboration, which are alliance networks. Technological systems, such as internet infrastructure, and epidemiology, a model based on disease transmission patterns. Contingency theories play a critical role in corporate governance by emphasizing that no single governance structure or practice is universally optimal. Instead, effective governance depends on aligning strategies, board structure, and oversight mechanisms with specific internal and external situational factors. Here's how contingency theories apply to corporate governance. They reject one-size-fits-all governance. Governance frameworks must adapt to variables like firm size, industry dynamics, regulatory environments, and ownership structures, and cultural norms. For instance, a tech startup may prioritize flexible governance or rapid innovation, while a multinational bank requires rigid compliance structures to manage regulatory risks. Aligning governance structures with context. Ownership concentration, for instance, family-owned firms may centralise power, while dispersed shareholders in public companies demand independent boards and transparency. Industry risks. High-risk industries, e.g. pharmaceuticals, finance, require stronger risk committees and oversight compared to low-risk sectors. Adapting to external pressures. Contingency frameworks explain how governance responds to regulatory changes, such as GDPRD, ESG mandates, or indeed much that is happening at the moment with the Trump administration. Market volatility, some of which is caused by the Trump administration, which is governance adjustments during crises like COVID-19 or Trump. Stakeholder activism, addressing demands from investors, employers, or communities, some of which may be in response to the behaviour of Trump. Balancing agency theory versus stewardship theory. We've seen these as two opposed theories, two opposed models, but actually there is a balance between them. Agency theory allows you to align shareholder-manager interests through monitoring and dominates in contexts with high information asymmetry, such as public firms. Stewardship theory, where trusting managers as stewards, may work better in family firms or mission-driven organisations. Either can work well as long as you're aware of the other and you understand it is about agency behaviour and stewardship behaviour rather than theories that apply to everybody. And the aim is to mitigate contingent risks. Governance mechanisms like board diversity, audit committees, or sustainability reporting are tailored to address context-specific risks, i.e. things like cybersecurity in tech firms or supply chain ethics in manufacturing. Now we'll see other videos in which we'll look at these individual theories in some depth.